Hey guys, Timothy here, aka FC121, and I'm going to bring you a draft recap for the MBA, a new league I joined, and the Moonlit Battler Association, I believe. That's the full name of it. Um, I said I wanted to go back to just three draft leagues: the SBF, the BTL, BTDL, and the MMC. But some guys from the Sunny Shore Battle Federation convinced me to join this one, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I was hoping to play Miklas in their low tier division, the Moonlight League, I believe. The Moonlight Division, I believe, but not sure. But first of all, he went into the Blood Moon Division, a low tier for former winners, I believe. And I ended up in the Moongeist Division, which is a Ubers League. And in case you don't know what an Uber League is, we basically had almost every mon available to us to use. I think only the most overpowered things that Smogon put in Anything Goes are banned in this league. The Mega Rayquazas, the Zacian Crowns, Miraidons, those were banned, but most legendary mons are were available to us. So yeah, let's see how I did. I ended up 5th, and after 5 or 4 picks, Zacian, the hero of many battle forms, was still available. So I thought it was a great starting point for my team to have a fairy type, a fast physical attacker with the 120 base attack and 138 base speed. Yeah, it's just a great attacking mon, especially with it's just surprisingly bulky, with 115 in defenses and 92 HP. It has a great offensive move pool, of course, and yeah, like I said, it's a great starting point for a Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Just scrolling on my phone through the things it can do. It does not really have any support options besides maybe Snarl. And yeah, why would you run Snarl on this thing? I mean, it can use Swords Dance as setup. It can set up with Work Up, Iron Defense, and Agility. So great things for setup, and a great starting point for draft, I believe. Had to wait a long time, and I had a few things in mind. I wanted we were allowed to use, we can draft up to 3 higher tier mons, and with that I mean between 28 and 20 points, where most of the Uber mons were listed. So we could use up to 3 Ubermons in this league, and I wanted 1 Ubermon as a physical attacker, which is Zacian, aka Coldogo, and the other one I ended up with was Palkia Origin, aka Valkyrie. With 680, it's clear why this thing is in Ubers. And his stats overall stats are just great, with 90 being his lowest stat in HP. Attack and defense are 100, 120 SPDF and speed, and 150 in special attack. So Zacian is a great physical attacker, and Palkia Origin is in even bigger hitter, to be honest. It has just 3 resistances in fire, water and steel, but it also just has 2 weaknesses in dragon and fairy. So defensively, it's fine with fire and water, but still. It fits into 2 cores because it's a water type and it's a dragon type. So I am 2/3 in my fairy dragon steel core, and this is the beginning of my fire, water and grass core. And yeah, basically, like I said, I normally neglect my special offensive. Take my Lugia team, or my Lugia division team in the Burnt Out Draft League, where Infernape is basically run mainly special, because I don't have much special offense. Victini in the MMC, great offensive, physical offensive mon, but mainly used special because I needed something that could hit on the special side. So this time I did not neglect my special offensive stats though. So yeah, and after this I was kind of like, okay, I've got my 2 Ubers, what do I want next? And I was looking at the list of rules, and it stated we all had to pick 1 mon from our draft that was going to be our Terra Captain. And yeah, I was looking at the list of what could be Terra Captain because it was 18 points and below. With some exceptions like Qian Pao and Shaman Sky. And I saw something that I couldn't believe, and it was that Mew was allowed to be a Terra Captain. I mean, Mew is overall hard to prep for because it knows most moves in the game. So you never know what kind of set you, what kind of move pool of moves it's going to bring, and with base 100 around the board, you never know what type of Mew set you're gonna face. So I think a Terra Captain Mew makes it even harder to prep for because it's a Omni Terra Captain, so I can use whatever Terra I want on Mew. And yeah, good luck prepping for Mew because you never know what this is going to bring. I named it Neo because he might be the one for me this league. So great league. I'm really anticipating a lot of great things from Mew. And after the Mew, I had to wait for a long time, and I wanted to finish up my Fairy Dragon Steel core, and there was one steel type that really caught my eye, and I really wanted that one, and I was really anxious that others were going to draft it because I think it's one of the better steel types in the game, and that's Heatran. And it came back to me, and I was very happy to pick it up. It was the completion for my Fairy Dragon Steel core. It gave me a very bulky mon with great offensive stats with 130 special attack. It has more resistances and immunities that it has moves that are neutral or super effective against it. So that's defensively a great combination. And with Stealthworks, it's also giving me some extra hazard options because Mew was the only mon at that point that had hazards and had hazard removal for me. So yeah, very happy to pick this thing up. With Heatran, I also was 2/3 on the way for my Firewater Steel, Firewater Grass Core. Talking is hard today, apparently. And yeah, I was looking in my lists of grass types. I saw Shaman, which caught my attention. But then I thought, I can also go for a Mega Pokemon, because I do not have any anything that can Mega Evolve. And yeah, there was a Grass Mega Evolution Pokemon that really caught my eye, because it's another great defensive mon. I have Zacian and Palkia as just full-on attackers. I have Mew for whatever role I need. And Heatran was my first really defensive mon. And my second one was Mega Venusaur. Because of his thick fat ability, it just has the 2 weaknesses in Flying and Psychic. Like I said, it completed my Firewater Grass Core. It's not a great bulky offensive mon with 123 in defense and 120 special defense. And the 122 special attack is also something not to take lightly. 100 in attack is great if I want to run a knockoff support set. It has Leech Seed. I can put opponents to sleep with Sleep Powder. With Worry Seed I can disrupt them by changing their ability. Too bad it didn't get any toxic spikes, but it is a grounded poison type, so I can always use this to absorb toxic spikes on my side of the field. It does learn Bind and Block for trapping if I want to do that. It gets Roar for phasing, and it can also use Toxic to poison my opponents. Bulldoze to lower speed. It can be a Reflect and Light Screen supportive mon. What else can this thing do? I saw Weather Ball, Swords Dance for setup, Curse, Work Up, Amnesia to boost its special defense. So yeah, I think this is also a great defensive mon. But at this point I was 5 months in and I did not have any hazard removal besides Mew. And of course after 5 picks you lack a lot of typing. And I wanted some ghost immunities because not that I was weak to it, but only Mew has a weakness for it, but I had nothing to resist it with and nothing to take it or no immunities to it. So I went and drafted Mousehold. And this one I called for Steve SBU because he's the coach of the Mouse of House. I really respect the dude as a content creator and a coach, so I just wanted to honor Steve this way by calling it for Steve SBU. And finally I can use this thing because I have been waiting a long time to draft this thing. His hazard removal is also a setup move because you switch it in to hazards. It uses Tidy Up and it does get a attack and speed boost. And with that speed boost, that thing is incredibly fast and very hard to outspeed because 111 speed stat is already quite high. It does get a combination of Population Bomb and Technician, which is wild because Technician boosts every Population Bomb hit. And again, the Ghost immunity, the speed stat was great, so I'm just very happy I drafted this little mouse family. Next up, I wanted more removal and basically I wanted more hazards as well because I had Heatran and I had Mew for hazards and that's about it. So I drafted Sandy the Sandslash. It's a decent ground type, but I have a great feeling about this. It was just 5 points, I believe, which I don't really get. I feel on paper it's a great mon. Like I said, as the final point, I'm not sure how it's going to be once I'm using it, but it feels like a very decent ground type with electric immunity, of course, as a ground type, but also it gets both rapid spin as it does get the stealth rock and spikes. It has great physical bulk and rapid spin to boost its speed stats. So yeah, I'm not sure why this is just 5 points. Maybe I find out in the season, but I do believe this thing is going to do decent at least. And I have a great feeling about this. And let's hope it won't disappoint. After Sandslash, I wanted a dark type, and we were getting at the back end of the draft. I've drafted 7 months, I believe, after this. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 months. I needed it. I needed at least 2 more. And next up, I wanted a dark type. And I wanted a spin blocker. And a fast electric type was also something I wanted. I had 3 months in mind, and spoiler alert, I did get all 3 of them. And the first thing I wanted it was the one with the that cost the least amount of points. And I went for that one because I was one of at least, if not the coach with the most points left over at this point. So I felt safe leaving the higher cost mons up for later. And I used round 8 to pick up Sableye, aka Rihanna. At first look, it's very underwhelming, especially stat-wise, with just 380 base stat total. It does have 3 immunities in normal, psychic, and fighting with his dark and ghost typing. And yeah, it's a great support mon, I think, with the ability Prankster. I love using Prankster mons. It has I have to say it correctly. It has trick, not switcheroo. I love using Prankster trick mons, of course. It also got skill swap, and stall and skill swap work perfectly together on this mon. Because stall makes it you always go last in your priority bracket, and with skill swap I can get rid of my stall ability against a setup mon, for example, and that way I can basically cripple a setup mon and just go nuts after that. It has a lot of disruption moves like Taunt, Knockoff, Encore, Thief, Imprison. It has Meanlock for entrapping mons. It gets Shadow Sneak, Sucker Punch, Fake Out for priority. And again, it's a spin blocker. So I was thinking of switching this one for Hisuian Quillfish that came free during the grace period, but I decided not to and just keep Sableye because I love using Prankster mons, and this thing will do surprising things, I believe, this season. Right now I have some great special offensive attackers, but besides Zacian, I am lacking something that really consistently hits hard on the physical side. Mousehold is not something I'm going to bring every week, so I wanted something more hard hitting, and I wanted something to really punish hazard removal for my opponents. And there's one mon that is, I think Game Freak made this mon in mind to just punish everyone that wants to remove hazards, and that is Annihilate. Because of his ghost typing, he will never allow Rapid Spin to work, and with the Defiant ability you may get rid of hazards on your side of the field, but with Annihilate in you also give this thing a +2 in his attack stats, which is with base 115 already very worrisome, I believe. Of course, Rage Fist can go berserk. After 6 hits you basically have a base 300. After 5 hits you have a base 300 stab ghost move, so that's already crazy. It can set up rocks on its own, and overall just very decent stats, so really happy with that. Oh damn. That left me with 15 points, and I still do not have a fast electric type at this point. So like I said, I already had a fast electric type in mind, and I was happy to see in the end it coming back to me. And my final mon for this draft is Zeus, aka Thunderous Therian. With 101 speed, it is pretty fast. It has agility to even further boost his speed stat. It does get Nasty Plot as a setup, but with 145 base special attack you do not really need anything to boost that special attack stat. It has a electric immunity with the mandatory Volt Absorb. Because it's a flying type, you don't have a ground weakness but a ground immunity, and basically only the ice and rock weakness, which is great. So I think this mon really rounds up my team perfectly. And let's have a look at the stats of this team. Looking at all my weaknesses, I have a minor ice type weakness with just the 2 mons being weak to it and Heatran having a double resistance, which is great. Normally I draft very ground weak teams, but it's neutral. I have an immunity with the Thunderous, and Heatran has a double weakness to it, but that balances each other out. I have a double ghost weakness but a immunity as well, so that's also very nice, but not that great. On the other hand, Mew is my tower captain, so it won't always be weak to the ghost types, so I kind of feel that's whatever. And I have 3 fairy weaknesses and 2 fairy resists, with Heatran being a double resist to fairy, so not really worried about that. Looking at everything that's neutral, 2 flying type weaknesses against 2 flying resists, which is decent, with Heatran being one of those resists. That's a pretty bulky mon, so that's whatever. And water, I have 2 weaknesses with Heatran and Sand Slash, but Venusaur and Palkia has a double resist, so not all that worried about that as well. Looking at the stats, my HP stat is left somewhat to be desired, with a average of 84. Sableye really brings that number down with base 50, but Sableye with his stats brings everything down, to be honest. So Annihilate with the biggest HP stat. Looking at attack, I have 1, 2, 3 dedicated physical attackers, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 dedicated attackers and 4 things that can be split into physical or special. So physical defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from at least 100. Special attack with 1, 2, 3, 4 dedicated special attackers and 1, 2, 3 that can also run special attacking moves. So also decent. Spadef with 5 from 100 or up, and yeah, my speed stats are also pretty nice. 138, 120, 111, 101, 100, 90, 80, 77, 65, 50. So no real big gaps there. And lastly, 4 stealth rockers, 2 spikers, a toxic spike setup, 2 defogers, a rapid spinner, tidy up, as well as a hazard removal option. Multiple mons with Volt Switch and U-turn. No wish users, which is whatever. I think a lot of mons can keep themselves healthy, to be honest. I believe. Let's go back because I have everything here. Mega Venusaur does get Leech Seed and Synthesis. I wouldn't be surprised if Thundurus gets Roost. Sableye can use Pain Split, so I have some ways of recovery. So that's already whatever. 6 mons that can block opponents with taunt, 5 knockoff users, some status spreaders, so that's pretty great. All with all, I'm very happy with this team, and I'm very curious how well I can do with this. It looks great, but I don't have any experience in Uber leagues, so let me go. If you guys will let me know if you have any experience in Ubers, what you think of this. I'm really curious about what you guys think, because I feel pretty confident going into the season, but yeah, still have to prove it myself. So let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite mon in my draft? Is there anything you would change looking at this draft? And what mon do you think will do best in this season for me? Can be either offensive or defensive. That's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will look out for the videos that are coming up for the MBA. See you all next time. Bye!